Well, I used to be an educator for civics and American history for a nonprofit here in the DC area. And I moved into museum education. The museum I worked at was about architecture, construction, engineering, urban planning. And I wanted to put both of those together, so I started my own company.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, welcome everyone. How are y'all doing today?
Great, how are you?
I'm
Good.
Sharifa.
I'm Tim, nice to meet you.
Nice
Larry.
to meet you.
Larry?
Yes.
Okay. Sydney, great to meet you. Yeah, thanks for joining me this morning for a walk through the neighborhood. I do like to start here for a couple reasons. Yes, Howard Theater, but really the first reason is that busy road over there with all the cars on it. When they first created the District of Columbia, that road was one of the first roads. Back then it was not called Florida Avenue, it was called Boundary Road. It was the boundary between Washington County was on that side, Washington City was on this side. The tour is just sort of a 90-minute deep dive into this one part of this neighborhood's history, how it became known as Black Broadway, what happened during that time period, and then the final question is, can you still call it that? Is it still a thing? What's happening now in present day? Mostly everyone's from Washington, D.C., and mostly everyone is a jazz hero. Bottom left, Duke Ellington, a lot of people don't realize is from Washington, D.C. He was born in DuPont Circle. Billy Taylor with the red glasses, super long list of accomplishments, jazz director of the Kennedy Center for a while. Shirley Horn in the Yellow, singer-songwriter, known for sneaking into all the jazz clubs when she was 11 and 12 years old. Ron Holloway with the saxophone, just multiple-time award-winning jazz artist. The woman in the green hat, Michelle Indegacello, attended Duke Ellington High School for the Arts. When she went to school, the last fellow on the right there, Davey Yarborough, up until just recently, was the director of jazz studies at Duke Ellington High School, and he just retired recently. In this alley, there's 100+ years of musical history, all right? 110+. The built environment, which is to me all things that are human built, including the space in between buildings. After the people are gone, like that's what we have to tell stories, we have the buildings. And so all the tours are about people, but also about places. The name of the movie was School Days.
School Days! Come on!
This is probably the most heard go-go song of all time, in my opinion. The council declared that go-go is the official music of Washington, D.C. now. I wanted to stop here because I want to mention a little bit about what happened in 1968. Dr. King was assassinated in April. And in a lot of cities, not just DC, a lot of cities, we had uprisings and revolts. This shows some of the damages that happened. You'll probably recognize at least one of the people, and I'll show this around.
Okay.
JFK.
I mean, no.
Not JFK,
It's Robert.
Robert Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy, yeah.
And he's standing with
Is
a
that
young,
Malcolm X?
he's standing with a young black pastor, Walter Fauntleroy.
Oh.
All right, okay. Now one more time, I want you to look at Bobby and look at those pointy top buildings next to Bobby's head.
Yeah.
All right. And I see you looking around. Wait,
It's not that though.
that's it. He's standing around this block right here. He's standing around this block. And the sad part is this was the original Black Broadway, 7th Street, where we're standing right now. That was the original Black Broadway. Before the pandemic came to the United States, maybe less than 1/8 of my guests were from the Washington, D.C. itself or the surrounding area. And what does the advertisement in the newspaper
Oh
say?
my God.
It says,
White
attention white home buyers,
buyers.
the largest restricted white community in Washington. Over half of my guests are now from Washington, D.C., or Virginia or Maryland or the Mid-Atlantic. So it's really flipped. Cities are living entities and they change all the time. And some stuff I think is important to try to remember. And so I think this, in my view anyway, some of the storytelling that happens on these tours, that's my way of sort of remembering for myself, but also, letting other people know, like what was here, who was here, what happened here. Love sharing the stories, so I thank you so much for being here for it.